Hey, welcome guys. Today I wanted to share with you, this is sort of a follow-up from a video I did a couple months ago on Ammo by MIG's scenic mats. Uh, Basically show you how easy it is to make literally the world's easiest diorama. Now, I will personally be using these. I'm going to end up making a couple more of these just for photographing, like have an airfield one, a desert one, things like that. So when we build vehicles, tanks, and airplanes in different theaters of the war, we can photograph them and put them in their natural scene and just bring a little bit more to each video and each photo. And then also, I had a lot of leftover, so uh, I went out to Michael's and I bought a lot of these little pieces of wood in different sizes. So we're gonna do a couple different. This is like the smallest vignette with just a guy carrying some machine gun ammo from Tamiya's machine gunner. The new kit, I think it's like a year old. But this is the easiest way to make a diorama like on Earth. Now, it might not be the most cost effective. These Each of these scenic mats are about $30. They're like 27 or something like that. But you can cut them with scissors, which we can judge how well I was able to cut a circle. Um, but you can cut them easily with scissors, and they come with everything that you need. There's shrubs and stuff like that already. This would be a super easy thing to use if you're going to put buildings and trees and things like that into your diorama. This basically gives you the ground right away. Again, for my purposes or many others out there, if you just want a platform to photograph your tank, or you have a couple on a shelf and you want it to look a little bit better, and you want to rotate them in and out, something like that, this is the perfect platform to do it. So for a couple dollars, again at Michael's or whatever hobby store you have, just go out and they have a little section of wood. And I just bought this. I didn't even sand it. I don't even care. You could easily just do a couple passes of sandpaper. And again, it's a couple bucks. Step number one is we're going to paint it. Now you could use, I'm using an airbrush here, just because I wanted to kind of make it look like the color of the dirt, just so that there's not a stark contrast. You could easily just leave it wood or use a stain. Spray painted black would look good as well. But this is just one idea of how you could paint it. So I'm going to use like 2 or 3 different colors just to give it a similar enough vibe to what the scenic mat has. But once I had that all done, I just took it outside and just with a Rust-Oleum like clear coat, just quickly clear coated it. This is not something that needs to take more than a couple minutes, or even, like I said, just a quick black spray paint. After that, do your. This is the only part that's a little tricky, is cutting it. Um, it's not straight in all places, but you could put it upside down, measure it a little bit better than I did, and use an X-Acto knife would probably be the best way, or use scissors and have drawn on the back, but I didn't do that. I just kind of went for it. Next thing you need, this is Woodland Scenics like diorama glue. You could easily use, a super glue, but super glue doesn't give you, it gives you like 5 seconds of drying time. So you have to be really good with your placement at first, because you won't be able to really adjust it. You could easily use, like an Elmer's glue or anything that would work for like fabric or anything like that, is pretty much what the mat is made of. So again, this is something you can find at a hobby store for like a couple bucks. You can see mine got a little bit dry at the tip, and we had to do a little bit of surgery. Uh, I don't know how generous or not to be with the glue. I ended up being pretty generous because I didn't want anything to fall off here. But let me know in the comments if you think my I used way too much glue. I ended up actually having to put more glue on the edges. Once I let this dry for a couple hours, the edges were still flopping around. So I didn't use enough glue by the edges, that was for sure. But it is that easy. Let it dry. I would let it dry probably overnight before you try to peel it off or anything like that. But here it is the next day. It is exactly what we need. And again, you could easily, you don't even have to cut this. You could get a piece of like foam board that's as big as the mat and just put it right on and build a diorama that way. If you wanted to add some buildings, I do have a palm tree that I ordered a couple months ago that I'm still trying to convince myself to build and put on, like do a little desert scene, something like that. Have a nice little oasis for the tankers. But this is exactly what I wanted, and I couldn't say this product really has any problems with it. It's perfect. If there is any problem, it's that it's about $30, and if you had all these materials, you could definitely do this for cheaper. So if you're looking for the cheapest possible way to build a diorama, this is not it, but this has to be the easiest. I guess not really a diorama, more like a vignette. I still, I don't really know the difference, but I'm just imagining because it's less buildings and stuff. But it gives our tank just the perfect platform. Um, there will be some stuff that falls off of it. I would probably take it outside or over the trash can when you get it, and just like shake it upside down. One or two of the stones will fall off, but as you can see, and some of the static grass. But as you can see, I can touch it. We can move things around. It's not going anywhere. Um, Yet it remains flexible enough to cut with scissors. So very, very nice there. And again, for just taking still shots and things like that, this is perfect. I basically am going to put this on a shelf, and then anytime I build a new desert tank, I'll display it there for myself. So just to give you some ideas of what you can do with this once you have it. Now, because the mat was a square, and we cut out a circle, that's going to leave us with basically 4 different, more or less triangular shapes on the corners. So I also found these little wooden discs, and I'm not a huge figure painter. Uh, I usually just paint the figures that come with the tanks, like the tank crewmen and stuff. I have done, I've done my fair share of, riflemen and whatnot. But they're usually like the older Tamiya figures, and I just kind of do them when I'm bored and waiting for things to dry. But get this little wood disc. This was like $4, and I got a pack of like 20 of them, so more than I need. And then I'm just using the AK paint marker, and it works perfect. That was, as you can see, one pass. I think that's the buff color or the brown color, I don't remember. And then same as before, we're just going to use this woodland scenic glue. Really what you want here, this is probably just like reboxed Elmer's glue, if I'm being honest, for like more money. As most products are, just reboxed versions of something else. But you just want something that's going to dry clear. Some glue will seep out the edges. You don't want it to be a certain color. You just want it to dry clear, and that will make everything look a lot neater in the end. This one was a lot easier to cut because it didn't have the edges to it and everything. So as you can see, I did a lot better job cutting this one than the other one. You could easily glue it to the mat and cut it out before, or something like that. And then just, again, let it dry. I put a little bit of weight on it just to test this one out. I didn't do this with the tank. It didn't flatten the grass or anything. The grass and everything sprung right back up, so happy with that. Next, we have our figure that I wouldn't say quickly painted up, but somewhat quickly painted up, just to show you like what you would do with a figure like this if you don't build, big dioramas, because he has 1 foot off the ground. He's going to need some place to stand, right? So this is the perfect solution for, and obviously you could make it bigger than this, but this is like the perfect solution for, you want to display a figure or something like that. I don't have more space in my area, my modeling closet, modified, to store a bunch of stuff to build dioramas. I don't really have space, if you watch my videos, to build and have a bunch of materials on my workstation. So for me, this is absolutely perfect. And I need small dioramas if I'm going to have any. So again, I'm sure there's other people out there like me with limited space and limited, funds or whatever for materials or space for materials. So I wanted to share this guy with you guys and show you kind of what you can do with it. So yeah, if you haven't already, I would ask you at this point to please like and subscribe. We will, like I said, I'll be ordering a couple more of these, and you'll start to see these in some of the end shots once we build a model and we want to kind of do that final look at it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video though, and I hope that for those of you like myself, I built one, detailed diorama before. I had never built anything else really that I would call a good diorama, at least. This is an awesome stepping stone, and I'm sure we'll get, a little bit more detail, a little bit more creative as time goes on. But for those of you out there that maybe haven't built one or anything like that, I would absolutely recommend giving these things a shot. And I appreciate you guys watching. We will see you on the next video.